6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. Blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
Such sights to show you. We'll tear your soul apart.
Well, we're waiting. Rock and roll!
6 o'clock already, it was just in the middle of a dream. I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, cause then I guess I just won't get paid. These are the days when you wish your bed was already made. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. My I don't have to run day. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. It's just another manic Monday.
Hello. Hey, it worked.
Hello? Hello?
Oh my
That's some
god.
bullshit.
Fucking technology, man. I'll tell you what.
It's like
And-
day one of us going live. Fuck, what the hell happened there?
I'm looking at my screen. I didn't even see the studio when I got in. I was like, what the fuck? And Colonel, he calls and then he says, what's this shit? There was some messages on there about this and that. And then, yeah, it was just, I had to get out and reboot the whole fucking thing, man. So
I
Yeah,
blame your shitty internet, Ziggy. It affected
Dude,
all of us.
it takes you 15 minutes to reboot, man. That's fucking ridiculous.
Well, I started. It was already 8:04 when I did it. So I mean, it's really like 11 minutes. But,
Anyway,
yeah.
I'm sure the audience that's here is just thrilled to hear about our technical problems. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. We ran into like everything that could have gone wrong at 7:45 fucking went wrong. So
Unreal.
Colonel couldn't hear anything. Ziggy was internet bullshitted out.
I couldn't even get in. I was all like,
We couldn't even get into our streaming service, so it was just all fuckery. All
it was like, click here to turn on your camera and mic. And I click it. And I still got a delay on everything, too. So I'm gonna...
You poor things.
It's the shitty Michigan internet. That's what I'm going to blame it
Well,
on.
it's the reboot. It's got to catch up. You know what I mean? It's got to get done putting all its processes in place.
Yeah.
Fuck!
All right. Looks like Lorena's here. S. Michael's here, which is kind of funny to what he says. He says, "Curse your luck, DCS." Yes, we did.
Too much.
I guess. And
Double
we
whammy.
were going to do an edition of Curse Your Luck, but we ran into this new film that everyone was talking about, and we decided to talk about it too. And we couldn't really find that many contestants for it. I mean, let's be honest.
All right. Yeah. I mean, this is what's going on here. We have something that is
New.
the idea is actually bigger than our reach, it seems to me, right now. I don't know. We need everyone to tell 10 friends. That's what's got to happen here.
That's right. And then they'll tell 10 friends, and they'll tell 10 friends, and so
And
on.
so on.
And so on.
And so on.
So on.
And so on.
Patricia's here. Stacy Lynn's here. Oh yeah, agreed. Stacy Lynn. She says, "Gotta love technology." Not when everything just goes ape shit at once.
It's great when it works. It is great when it works.
Yeah.
S. Michael, you know your next comment blurs the line of where we go on this show most of the time. So, as funny as it is, I'm gonna have to pass on that one.
Shit ain't even adjusted in here. Oh, S. Michael.
I mentioned
Well, the-
Trisha's here, Tarek's here, Chris Faze is here. All right.
Woo!
All right. And Lorena says, "Awesome shirt, Colonel."
Thank you. Thank you.
Had to get the reprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, a reprint. This is the second one I've had.
It's all right.
It's given me an idea for the next Colonel's Crypt. I don't know if I can pull it off. But I've been inspired by something, even though this is an idea I've had tickling in my mind for a while. I just haven't had and as they would say during the Attitude Era of WWF, the testicular fortitude to advance forward with it. So I think I might eventually get brave enough to try it.
Colonel's Crypt, what's that?
I know, right?
Never heard of it. Never heard of her.
It wouldn't fit for a Monday. I just don't think it would. So.
Fair enough.
Game show will return.
Oh, yeah.
We'll pound it a lot harder a few weeks out. You know, I mean, I thought we had some going on, then just people stopped responding. You know, after we're like, so did you want to play? Nothing, crickets. You know, I mean, can't force them. You know, I mean,
Useless. Worthless.
this wonderful print will be back in the archive for the week.
Well, like Crank said, you know, you got your keyboard warriors that know everything. But you give them a chance to prove that they know everything.
Free shit,
Ghost
cool
Cloud.
shit, free cool shit. I don't understand.
Well, and we're gonna work on some better free shit too. I'm gonna make
That's
some
true.
gonna make some phone calls over the next couple of weeks and see what we can line up for that. But
On the caliber of show we are, any free shit is going to be good shit, though. All right, isn't it? It's all we don't give away crap around here. It's like that shit, man. That's real money was spent on that for you. That's how you repay it. Can't even show up to play. What?
Listen, you say that, but it's really shit you don't want, so you're trying to get rid of it.
I will hang the shit on the wall right now. That'll be the show tonight.
It's giving you a hard time.
I know.
I'll fuck with you a little bit.
It's been 2 weeks. I'm going to catch up. You know, we had the 4th of July off. Digit count. Everyone got their digits. All right. Uh-oh, Colonel's still
good.
very... Oh, shit.
We knew the Colonel would lose a couple.
Yeah. Every year, but they always grow back. It's amazing.
Oh. How handy. Handy.
All right.
All right. Special thanks to our members, guys. Visit our website at deathcursesociety.com and check out how you can become a member. Thanks to our final girls and guys, Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke, S. Michael, Patricia, Tanya, and Tyrone. And a special shout out to Tanya and Tyrone. Did I see something earlier about 10th anniversary for them?
Wow.
Wow. Kudos to you guys.
Poor guy. I don't know how he's dealt with my sister.
There it is. So they probably won't be watching us tonight, but however, I did figure out we can give them a little background music tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope they're getting their bang on, but I mean, that should, you know.
My fucking sister, guys. Chill.
I'm not saying I want to do
We're
it.
gonna watch. Happy anniversary, Ty, and yes, it's wonderful.
That did go downhill real fast.
You both. It is the Colonel's family. Yeah.
Special thanks also to our Crazy Ralphs, Angelo and Raymond, and our camp counselors, Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Kiara, and Dave.
Thank you.
And I apologize for the huge delay, guys, from the last Curse Your Luck game, but the stuff is in the mail now. Dave, I don't know what the fuck with customs, how long it's going to take, but just it's coming, man. Tarek, you too. It's on the way, buddy. So keep an eye on your P.O. box. All right? Cool.
And, well, I have to send Tarek something, right?
Yes, you owe him a shirt. And I guess since we haven't sent it yet, we can clear it up now. Tarek, did you want the Pride logo T-shirt or just a straight regular logo T-shirt?
Let us know in the comments. Or
Either
we'll
way.
touch base with you afterwards, too, if we need to. But
Yeah,
I need to
just
get
hit
his
me.
address. Did you ever send me his address? I don't remember if you did.
Yeah, I sent you his address, yes.
Okay. I looked for it, but I couldn't find it again. But
It was a ways back when they played like 2 games
month
ago,
ago.
I think.
yeah,
Fuck.
a month ago. All right. Gang, tonight we're going to be talking about the new movie on Netflix. Everyone's been talking about it on social media, so I was expecting like this bombastic, just massive hit. Of course, it's Netflix, so yeah. It's called Incantation. It is a Taiwanese film, is that correct?
Yes.
Really, so yes.
Actually, both the films we're going to discuss are Taiwanese. So.
Oh, both of them, huh? All
Yes.
right, cool. So let's get the ball rolling. If you guys have seen it on Netflix, please make sure to comment and let us know what you thought of it. And yeah, we'll talk about it. So Ziggy, I'm going to start with you tonight. Give us your initial thoughts on Incantation.
Incantation. I was like, I'm obviously the other one we're going to talk about tonight really had me excited and pumped up. So, right.
So you're super late to the fucking party, dude.
Yeah, I know that, but it only hit fucking server on May the 12th. So it's not 3 months ain't that big a deal. 2 months. You were on it from day one. I was too. We were all talking about it. I never watched it until I started watching it like a week ago, and then I finished it off. And I've come to the conclusion that this one is in the running for my favorite film of 2022.
Not
But
the one we're
digress.
talking about.
I know we're going back to I'm just saying. That's what got me excited. So when we said, hey, let's do both, because I was like, yeah, I don't think we can do a whole show on that particular movie. We'll get to. So let's get Incantation on here as well. Everyone's bagging about it. Let's see what we got. So, all right, I put it on. Yeah, it's set up kind of weird, man. I dig the way it's different. It is way different than most of the shit you're going to see. I mean, it's got like it's very clever what they do with trying to get you playing with some of these mind tricks at the beginning. It doesn't really play all that much into the whole story, but it is kind of cool and it's different. I like that. But this film, it looks like a Taiwan version of Blair Witch a lot to me. And having said that, though, it's not quite found footage because she's kind of documenting herself almost. Never Hike Alone-ish. Like she's doing it like that with a camera. And but it runs its story and it has an ending. It has some stuff. It's some supernatural stuff. But I mean, it never really get to the crazy I was hoping for with all the hype around this thing. But overall, I didn't turn it off. I did pick up my phone a couple of times. I got to be honest. But it wasn't the worst thing. I mean, it's not as good as the other one we're going to talk about, but it is pretty damn creepy at points for sure. I'll leave it at that.
All right. How about you, Colonel? Initial thoughts on Incantation?
Yeah, like you guys. I mean, seeing all the hype on the interwebs going on. Again, I was Zag at the beginning. I was playing along with her mind games and blown away by the fucking train changing direction on me. I was like, whoa! Like, I was fucking all into it. I'm like, all right, man, this could be interesting. I was kind of looking at it as an interactive movie because you you gamers out there, I love Until Dawn, Hard Rain. I love those interactive, story-driven video games. So I kind of got the mind for that. Like, okay, I want to watch, play along, see if my mind can do anything. But like Zach said, after the beginning, that shit's pretty much tossed out the fucking window.
I know. Weren't you looking for something? Did you think there were going to be some camera tricks somewhere where that would apply?
That symbol one time. Like, they're like, memorize this symbol. Memorize this symbol. I've seen it fucking once. So
I've seen it a bunch of times. The symbol pops up all over the place.
Yeah, but I only found like one hidden one.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. That was cool. That was different. That was new. Really didn't carry throughout the movie. I kind of found this movie freaky to an extent. Because you guys got to remember, my youngest daughter is about the same age as the daughter in this movie, and that's kids and rape, man. Those are two things I don't like in horror movies. I did not like seeing this little girl get fucking tortured, even though you don't see much throughout the movie. So that's kind of like made me feel a little uneasy watching it, which is good because I'm so desensitized to this shit. It doesn't really affect me anymore. So that was nice to actually feel some kind of dread while watching a horror movie. Flash forward an hour and 56 minutes later, like Zag, I did check my phone, and it literally got to the point where I'm like, fuck, is this movie almost over?
Oh, I was crushed, brother, when I looked and it still had 27:44 to go. I was like, come on.
I was in 33:06. I was like, son of a bitch.
It's gotta be almost over. But then again, having said that, that last 27 minutes does ramp it up quite a bit.
It does.
Yes.
Dude, I was at 55:04 when I was like, come on.
Yeah, it did ramp up. Pretty good jump scare slow coming a mile away.
Yeah, still got me though.
For your average Netflix viewer, that probably scared the shit out of them.
Oh, fuck.
It didn't make me jump. I even had to rewind it just to make sure I saw what I saw. I was like, I really see that. It kind of reminds me of fucking Bilbo Baggins. Shit.
I had to totally, because of the way they did that was, there you go. That maybe, I guess that could loosely be one of those based in this way, but really go this way because of how it went. You know what I mean?
It was, like I said, it was interesting. It was different. But at the end of the day, nothing too groundbreaking. Let's say that. Initially.
Blair Witch.
I'm in the same boat with you guys, basically. I was intrigued by the hype. I was trying not to expect too much. I'm not a big found footage kind of guy, but this one wasn't bad. It was better than some of the found footage stuff that I've seen, if we want to call it that, which most people
it's fair. It's fair.
And I don't mind subtitles and dubbing, even though it's bad dubbing. I don't mind that. It doesn't take me out of the story too much. I've grown to really enjoy some of the foreign films that I've been introduced to since we started this show.
I know, where the fuck is James at, man? He'd be all over this one.
Right? The, obviously Train to Busan was one that came out of nowhere for any of us, I would be bold enough to say, I don't think, and then impressed the shit out of us. Was easy in our top 10 list that year.
Yeah.
I Saw the Devil was another one I was introduced to not too long ago. A Tale of Two Sisters is one that I've really grown to love recently. So I'm getting into these foreign films, and I wanted to get into this one, but man, it just a little bit short of what I wanted out of this, and had a decent setup, decent acting and atmosphere and everything, and then you want something there more at the end, and it's just kind of like,
I called that one. I was like, oh yeah, I know where this is going.
kind of like
it just reeked of that kind of ending.
Oh God, without trying to spoil too much, it's going to spoil a little bit, but we're not going to give too much context. Zag, I know you're going to remember this. Crank, you're probably on your own. Remember that one wrestler in the 90s? That the wrestler from Japan had like all the writing on it?
Yes. Muta or
Shit.
something. Yeah, Muta.
I was like, sorry. This made me laugh.
Well,
I get it.
I know what he means. You know, I mean, and he's right, because there were some goofy wrestlers that came out with dialect and scripts on their chest and their heads and stuff, and it looked just like this person that kind of has that. So, and you know, I won't tell you why, but that's the thing with most of these Asian, Taiwan kind of stuff. You know, I've noticed like Train to Busan, Peninsula, they really overkill the fucking setups. They're setting up a dramatic scene. They fucking overkill these fucking things to set up. It's just a trend I've noticed in each fucking one of them, and they do not disappoint in this one at all.
Right.
They're long and they're drawn out.
Speaking of, I like the setup. The setup is basically a woman. The lead actress had given up her kid when she had a child 6 years ago because she was going through some Shiite, and she wants to get the kid back. So when she gets the kid back, some weird shit begins happening again, and she's forced to deal with it. So, I mean, did you guys like that setup? The kind of the family bonding of the mother-daughter trying to get back together? Colonel, I'll start with you.
Most definitely. It's like I said, it made you feel for this woman. You wanted her to succeed, and you wanted things to go well for this family. It just apparently just wasn't in the cards.
Right.
You know, it's like I said, I appreciated that. A lot of the times watching these families and these horror movies, someone annoys me. I root against them. Like, I want to see you guys dead. Not this one. Like, I literally wanted to see them do well. Like, I felt for this one.
Yeah. How about you, Ziggy?
Once again, these Asian movies, subtitled or not, these actors have a way of connecting with the English-speaking audience in a way that most other foreign movies haven't figured out yet. And this is pretty consistent across the board, too. And again, here, even though it's dubbed in English, you can see it in her eyes. She's good, you know, and she's you can believable. It's very buyable when what she's doing, and you're rooting for her. And then you know the way they cut it together with why she got, you know, their little the name of their group. I mean, what the fuck, man? I know. I was just like, come on, though. How did that get through, though? Even in this day and age, how do they pull that off? I mean, there must be just some kind of, hey, we're not referring to them. They must have a different copyright law.
We'll let it slide this time.
Yes.
Well, I'm not letting it slide. But I'll wait for the conversation.
We'll save it to when we get to it. But I mean, but you know, the way they cut this thing is you start to see, it's like it doesn't really go straight through. You kind of jump over here and you see a little bit, then it jumps back over here to the current, and then it comes back to another point. They keep filling in a little bit at a time until you get to finally, when they start going into the tunnel, you know, that's when it gets really, really creepy, and it's superb, like the atmosphere and everything. So that's that kind of found footage shit you want, you know, walking around a really tight corner and all kinds of scary shit around it. That was cool. I really dug that.
Yeah, when people think of found footage shit, they forget, you know, 90 minutes of Blair Witch was just them wandering through the woods talking and bitching at each other. And then there was 5 minutes of and movie's over. Yeah, there you go. Colonel's doing it just right.
Yeah.
And then the movie's over. So you got a shit ton of setup. And this, I want to go back to your point that you were trying to make, I think, about the Asian films have a way of emotionally connecting. They bank on those emotional qualities, and they really set up these characters, the mother and daughter. You feel like a connection with them, like you were saying, because of the emotional deal that is going on between them. Daughter hadn't seen the mom in 6 years, you know.
She's cold.
Didn't even know her.
She didn't even know her.
Right. She's really cold when they meet, and it's good. It comes right fucking through, man. They nail it.
Yeah. And, you know, the mother is the same way. She's trying to connect, but she doesn't know how to connect. So it's just kind of, you can feel that, and you can feel that on an emotional level. You know, Train to Busan had that father-daughter relationship that you were just hurting for the entire movie, and then they had multiple other relationships that you were like, yeah, fuck that guy, but they're cool, fuck you. You had that in that, but you don't have that many characters to really get attached to in this one. It's pretty much focused on the mother-daughter aspect. I thought they did a really good job building that up, but then the payoff didn't pay off.
And again, that setup, there's so much you're expecting after, and then once it's all filled in, why this is happening and why she's protecting her daughter, that's where the letdown kind of happened for me. At the end.
Let me hit a couple comments here. There's a few. Yep, there we go. Tarek. Yep, the shaky cam, of course. There's always that. Stop that. You're going to make me throw up. BK says, after I listen to you guys, we'll determine if we watch it tonight. Seriously, fucks. Stop it.
Wait for the second one.
And Lorena says, Train to Busan is too sad, though. Here's a question.
It is sad.
Yeah, it is, but I enjoy the fuck out of that. That's part of what makes that movie work for me, is the fact that it does have a sadness to it. Sad. We're going to talk about that later.
No, trust me, I know. Ziggy's. No, I'm getting going again.
It's fun, dude. We'll have a good time talking about that one. Just because it's a fucking gore fest. It's glorious. Yeah. I can't wait.
Here's a question for you guys. I'll start with Colonel on this. Did you guys appreciate the meta qualities of the film?
Yeah, because for me, I liked it because it broke up the whole found footage, documentation thing. And, because then we praise, Leslie Vernon so much for being a found footage documentary where it seamlessly translates to an actual feature. Well, this one is seamless throughout the entire movie. So it made me enjoy the found footage parts more often. It's like, oh, well, this is for so we're going to do that. I liked it. I really did. I thought the way he did it was pretty fucking smart.
I enjoyed that too. How about you, Ziggy?
Yeah, I mean, after the first couple of times, I was like, well, wait a minute, what the fuck is going on here? And then okay. Because, again, it's kind of not quite Pulp Fiction out of sequence, but it's definitely not a straight A to B. You have to get the nuggets filled in as you go. But I didn't really. Yeah, I liked it. It was cool because it's handled well. And then once you get a grasp to what's happening and where they're going, okay, now you're on and you're just waiting for something that's not really coming. That's the only thing that really sucks with this movie.
And it looks like Patricia's throwing out a bunch of foreign film recommendations: Tokyo Gore Police, Suicide Club, Funny Games, Inside, Dead Snow 1 and 2.
Oh, God, yes.
Lorena's all about all Argento, all the way, even the ones that suck. So,
Fulci's better.
Fulci. I won't give you the
No one brought up Fulci yet. Just pointing that out.
Well, we did.
We did. We always will.
Tarek says that's true about the overseas love for audiovisual melodrama. Honestly, I wouldn't just say overseas. I would stick that with just the Asian subculture.
Well,
in my opinion,
they figured it out, just how to get over that hurdle and connect, and it doesn't matter, So that's why they stand out right now. I don't know what it is with their rating system over there, where they're allowed to get away with so much fucking more over there. It's actually like, whoa,
Well, there's no MPAA. There's no MPAA.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't know, but it's funny though. They'll ban a movie because there's no Chinese people in it, or that someone makes a joke. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's who knows?
Right. That different culture, but
yes.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean? I'm over the Asian.
There's James Brassfield. Says he's going to check it out. We'll see. Hey, and speaking of, we'll check you out in about a month. So be ready, James. That's one of our Oklahoma City Horror Con buddies.
Let's dance.
Lorena says Koreans are fascinated with American culture. I get tons of questions. She, I believe, she teaches distance learning through a Korean program. I'm not exactly sure what she does, but I think it has something to do with that. So
The Koreans made some fucked up art too, like that. So they're definitely in that niche there.
oh yeah, well that's Train to Busan and Peninsula.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
South Korean.
That's well, yes.
Um,
North Korea.
Oh, dang it! I just James. Yep, he says he's ready for the horror con. Going to be some interesting people. That's right. There's always interesting people at the
Yeah.
cons. Lorena says, I won't go off, I promise, but that kind of relationship isn't unusual in Korea. Even when divorce isn't involved, a lot of fathers have apartments near their workplace and only go home on weekends. I've kind of figured that. Yeah, I get that. And she says, I love Train to Busan, but god damn, rip my heart out every time.
Yeah.
It does.
Yes.
Good though. You know how hard
And-
that is to elicit a response like that through subtitle? That's fucking amazing.
Here we go. Patricia says, we know you guys love Fulci. Maybe I read more, voice into that than...
Oh, I'm sure she's tired of hearing about us stroke Fulci off, but especially Zach.
Yeah,
Hey.
there it is. Yeah,
He's watching you.
That's right.
Watching you.
She teaches Korean students, so that's why her schedule is so weird. All right, cool. There's something about, you guys have already kind of brought it up. How do you guys feel the Asians are able to connect more emotionally with some of their horror characters than some of the American characters that we get in American films? How is that possible? Is it because we don't know these actors at all? Is it because, we watch Stranger Things and we're like, oh, that's the girl that was in Fear Street, or that, blah, 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 blah. That's the guy that was in Ghostbusters. Over there, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know who these people are. Is that why we're supposed to, or why we're able to make an emotional connection with their story? Or is their writing just that much fucking better? Zigzag.
I would say it's a direct correlation of how good of actors they are, and we're just not familiar with them. But I'm saying, like, what was the one with the Queen of the Black
Queen
Magic?
of the Damned?
Queen of the Black Magic.
Yeah.
That's it, right? That one, Indian movie, and did not have. There were a couple of weak link actors there that were kind of key to the story that couldn't spit their lines to make it like convincing,
But it still worked.
It still worked, but I mean, not like to this effect where I'm rooting, like Colonel said, I'm fucking rooting for these people. I want them to win. And I do. I think it's right with the acting. It has to be. I mean, it has to be. Yeah, that's acting, writing, acting. It's all right there. But
All right.
execution is always going to be the fucking catalyst to make
I
it
was
work.
getting ready to ask about that too, but I wanted to get Colonel's take first.
I mean, yes, of course, the actors and the writing and everything plays a big role into it. But also, let's remind ourselves that American films, we watch these. Sometimes we have tropes we have to follow. Sometimes you have a fucking checklist. You need this. You need this. You need this. I'm not so like Korean films. I don't know what to expect, so I'm really just watching, zoned in. Like they have the freedom to do whatever they want. Like let's take the Black Phone for example. Great movie. Nothing groundbreaking though. We've seen that story 100 times. In American films, we've seen this shit. 'Cause we're Americans. So I think a lot of it just has to be us being culturally ignorant and willing to soak it in and kind of learn. Then you kind of attach to these people. Because let's be honest, there's different cultures all around the world, but 90% of our lives are the same thing, day in, day out. Everybody gets up, goes to work, comes home, has a family, feeds them, goes to bed.
All right.
I'm not saying you guys are wrong, but I think it's a combination of, it's more than just that.
You brought up something I wanted to bring up because you brought up part of the writing and the filmmaking process, because foreign films don't have to go through, especially the studio bullshit that American films do have to go through. When you make an American film, you've got 18 different producers that are looking at this script, looking at these story beats, looking at this, and they're not reading it for the emotional quality all the time, but they're reading it for okay, let me back up. I'll give you an example. Back in the 90s, when I was going to studio meetings and getting basically writing, script notes on shit, I was told, if it's a comedy, I'm not fucking playing here, man. If it's a comedy, there has to be a big laugh every 3 pages. If there's not a big laugh every 3 pages, that comedy script is going to get shoved to the side. If it's a horror script, there's got to be a scary moment every 6 to 7 pages. If there's not a big scary moment every 6 to 7 pages, that script is going to get pushed to the side. And I'm like, how can you write a good story when all you're worried about is, oh my God, in 3 pages, I have to build up to a big scare, whether it be part of the fucking story or not? The answer is you fucking can't. It's hard to. Right? You can, but it's just fucking hard to. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because that is a huge part of it, I think. And anyone outside of the studio industry doesn't have to deal with that shit. Hence the, foreign films and even the independent filmmakers that we, that do work here in the States. So that's a big one. But, I think a lot of it also has to do with most of these actors are new. We're meeting these people for the first time. A lot of times when you see a familiar actor in a new role, you've already got like their past roles kind of projected onto them. Like, oh, well, he's going to be like so-and-so in this movie that he did 4 years ago. He's going to be a lot like that, I bet. You're used to that. These new characters are blank fucking slates, and we can't project anything onto them. So I think that helps establish a tighter connection with them, because you're meeting them for the first time, and you're wanting to get to know them. Other characters you see with familiar actors, you're like, I already know exactly what character this guy is going to be. I'm not even paying attention to him. In the back of your head, that's what's going on. In my opinion, would you agree with that in a way, Colonel? All of that I said?
Well, yeah. I agree with that the first time. But like I said, I agree with you. It makes sense. There's certain actors in American films that are so damn good, you don't project other projects on them. I'll be fair. To be fair, it's few and far fucking between. Trust me.
Gary Oldman.
Of course, Gary Oldman. And I was going to say Christian Bale. I did not compare him to any of his other roles in Thor: Love and Thunder. Just saying, I know it's a whole fucked topic, but
I didn't even know he was in Thor: Love and Thunder. So there you go.
Yeah.
What about you, Ziggy? Does that?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat what you just said? No,
No.
I'm good, man. Dude, I just don't know, man. 'Cause like I couldn't tell you if I'd ever seen any of those people before. I've seen it, the more recent where they would be appearing, the last 4 or 5 years and stuff. And I think this is probably the first time they've reached our screens here in America, like this. So, but I don't know, man. I don't know how you can change it. You know what I mean? And why is it that such? Why do they do that? Why do they break it out like that? And
What do you mean?
Well, when I'm getting how. I had another question I was thinking about. And that's what totally spaced me out on this whole thing. I'll just ask that instead. Do you think, like with the streaming services now, what we have, is this a way around our American MPAA to be able to do what you want? Like, look at our guy here, Damon Leone. He's got his fucking Terrifier. He said he's not cutting it.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've got Bloody Disgusting behind him. And they're going to release it uncut in fucking theaters. So
In limited theaters. It's not
limited theaters. Well, I know. It's not going to get the major release. Of course not. He's looking straight ahead to the DVD sales, man. That's what I want. So,
right.
But is this a way around the MPAA to where these people can, like we can put stuff on the same level as this, shocking and visceral like this, and I guess that's more probably for the second film we're going to talk about.
I was
But
going to say this conversation needs to be had for the sadness.
yeah,
This film didn't really. Let's talk
No.
about gore a little bit. This film didn't really have a whole lot of gore, but the effects were pretty fucking good. I will say the stuff on her arm that looked fucking
Yeah, like the
good.
boils and shit. Yeah, that looked good.
Yeah.
And then the
oh dude,
chick with blood pouring out of her fucking head.
Right.
I
Some of
hate it
that-
when they do the thing with the seeds and shit in the arm like that, the little pits in the holes, and they did a lot of that shit. And I was just going, yep, I don't like that. it's disturbing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the makeup looked fine. It looked good. But it's nothing like, there's no. Well, there's a little on body violence and stuff, but I mean, it's self-inflicted mostly. The stuff that gets away with anything that would be like, oh, okay, that's pretty violent. But it's okay. I mean, it didn't need it. Did it need it? I don't think it needed to be super over the top, bloody or gory with this story.
No, I don't think it. This
It
was
wasn't-
psychological.
I don't think it would have fit.
Yeah. Let me hit a comment or two here. James says likes the Stephen King. That's 2 votes for your shirt tonight, Colonel.
Should have been the shirt I put in the contest. Fuck.
Yeah, he also says he's with Ziggy on that one. I think about the why are we able to believe these characters more, or like, is it the writing, blah, blah, blah. I think he liked your answer about that. I think that's when that was coming in.
Probably last thing I said that made any sense. So yeah.
It might have been, yeah. I don't know. Tarek says, I think it's partly because Hollywood cinema tends to favor the subtle art performance, while Eastern cinema favors very visceral performances from actors. There's a good point, too. I can see that a little bit.
Yeah, but there's let's face it, man, there is an absolute freeze out of anything, like you couldn't do, like fucking even Maniac or something these days. They're going to try to stop that, I mean, just anything that was really, really like, whoa, that made you, totally creep out and clam your skin out and just kind of tense up and get all fucking worked up and everything. They don't let it go. Or if they do, you get a second and a half instead of the 4 or 5 you need to take it in,
Well, we could use Friday the 13th Part 7, for example. That movie got butchered to shit. We will never see that uncut footage. But
fucking asshole.
It only added, 28 to 32 seconds more to the film? Isn't that what they said? Like, in some interview? So it's not a whole lot, but that 30 seconds, that's too much.
That's 6 kills, that an extra 5-6 seconds a piece. That's gonna add to it, to the gore hound.
And what's funny is, 30 years ago, when that movie came out, that might have been a big fucking deal. Now, I bet they could release that unedited, in theaters today. But
I mean, fuck.
I digress.
Yeah, after some of the stupid shit we've seen, come down the pike. I mean, I'll go to Terrifier again. That one's pretty fucking rowdy and sadistic, and that's kind of the things they're frowning upon, but man, I'm all for, listen, if you're telling a story, you have the full gambit of tools to tell that fucking story. If you got to take the buckets of blood and the intestines and everything, I'm all for it. Tell your story, do it your way. That's how it should fucking be. It's fucking art.
That's how it should be, but let's not forget, we'll use Terrifier, we'll use Friday the 13th Part 7. Big studio, totally independent. The big studio is about that money. They're going to make the MPA happy. All right, we'll cut whatever you need us to get put in theaters. They know they're going to make a fucking profit. It's an independent film. He make whatever he fucking wants. Find someone's willing to push it, and there he goes. He's off to the races.
What's making?
Well, you make an independent film, and then 6 months later, you're worrying about the next one you're going to make, hoping that you built enough steam out of this last one to get hired again or to do another one.
And I don't know why do certain ones break through and others do not. That's the other thing that's a question I have.
Well, dude, it's moments like these, like the 2 films that we've watched recently, both Asian in a way. All I want to do now for the rest of the week is watch Asian horror. Like, that's all I want to do. I want to find new, Taiwanese films that I haven't seen. I want to find new Korean films I haven't seen. That's all I want to do now for the rest of this week. And because they're just most of the time, they're so fucking good. I want to hit this one. Lorena says, okay, she said she wouldn't go off. She is going to go off. Koreans live with a kind of horror every day. With North Korea to the north, kind of encourages nihilism to a degree. Yeah. I'm shocked that they are. I'm glad that they're able to produce some art, though, and get it out to the world, I guess is all I'm trying to say.
That's a good point, man. Maybe they've just been exposed to some fucking gnarly shit, and that's kind of the norm, you know?
Right.
They're a little bit, the barometer's a bit higher.
What
Right.
you got to think? I mean, the Korean War was not that long ago, really.
No. Well, and tensions are still pretty fucking high. So, S. Michael says, I don't see Asian horror as better somehow. In fact, I think there's a pretty strong argument to be made that Hollywood is still, by far, the gold standard of cinema. However, it does seem like a fount of originality compared to our penchant for endless sequels and reboots.
Well said. Well said.
Agreed, and we may dissect that even a little bit more in our later segment here, because I do want to get into that. Lorena says, I've asked students about the sorrow that seems to come with Korean films. They're basically, that's Korea. Ugh. Damn.
Nope.
A bleak world over there. Andy says, think about how often with American horror movies you are rooting for the characters to be horribly killed. I think that has something to do with it. Crappy one-dimensional characters. Exactly. That's one of the things we were trying to point out, I think, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Patricia says, I like a good character development and storytelling. I feel like Asians are usually good at it. They have more strict rules than we do and broader imaginations. Just my opinion. All right. Tarek says, I do enjoy how often Asian cinema will launch character traits to the ozone. Hollywood, he smokes cigarettes. Eastern cinema, 13 packs a day. That's a good point. There is no middle ground with their character development. It's either, balls to the wall or absolutely nothing, it seems like. I will admit to noticing that. Andy says, Cronenberg with body horror. I mean, how many directors pretty much define their sub-niche? Not many. Lorena, if we're including Canadians, let's not forget John Mickey Thor. I don't know what that means. And Lorena also says, yes, I've had students that remember that war. Yeah. So that's not long ago. Anyway, let's score this one. I think we've talked about enough of this one and move on to the next one. So, Colonel, 0 to 10, your rating of Incantation.
0 to 10. Can I go -1? I'm just fucking with you guys. You know that. It wasn't that bad. I would never consider this a -1. Again, like I said, a little long. About 26 minutes too long. You should have stopped at fucking 90 minutes. And you would have had me. We didn't talk about them much, and that's okay. I will say the segments with the YouTube channel called the Ghostbusters can go fuck itself, because that really sucked me out of the story. The mother and daughter was all I fucking needed, and plus,
Right.
and dad, he was a nice added character as well. But fuck, man, like I said, it was good storytelling. The tricks worked. The payoff at the end was maybe a little too late. Again, fuck the Ghostbusters. And it just ran a little too long. Fuck. I'm still going to give it about a 6.5. I mean, I kind of want to give it a 7, but I just think due to length and the fucking Ghostbusters, you get 6.5.
How about you, Ziggy?
By all means, watch it.
Yeah, man. There's so many more films we've seen that I'm so disappointed after we watched. This isn't one of them. It does what it's supposed to do. It creeps you out just enough to keep you interested. You may check your phone once or twice in the end of the second act area, but you'll get back in for that last half hour, I promise. And the The Ghostbusters, yeah, that's the name of their little ghost hunting unit. There's a trio, and then it leads them into this forbidden tunnel,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why we have the problems. And they're called the Ghostbusters, right? I spent 15 minutes going, how the fuck did they get around that with all the, and yeah, it's still though, it's decent. You'll get creeped out. Could have used a little more supernatural, I thought, a little more evidence, but it's cool for a somewhat found footage film that takes a different approach. I think Incantation, you'll dig it. I'll give it a 6 solid, and we'll hold it right there.
All right. Yeah. Performances are good. Cinematography is mostly good. Like they mentioned both, there are some good, shocking moments. I like the, for lack of a better term, creature design when you do see pieces of it. It's a fun ride. It's not a great ride, but it's a fun ride. And I know everyone shits on Netflix's original horror movies, but this is probably one of the better ones on Netflix since I would go as far back to say Things Heard and Seen would probably be the only one, the last one out of Netflix that I really enjoyed. This is probably the next one. I know you guys didn't like that movie, but I did.
The Quiet Place on Netflix and stuff like that? Oh, Bird Box was that. Yeah.
Bird Box was, yeah. But I enjoyed this one. But it's not great. And you guys have already said it's too long. Could have done without that one subplot or minimized that subplot a lot. Maybe done that as like an opening credit sequence. Let's see that as an opening credit sequence and then jump to 6 years later. I'm meeting my daughter, But anyway, let's give it, I'd give it a 6 as well. Again, not great, but not bad. Definitely worth a view if you already have Netflix, especially.
Oh yeah.
What's it gonna? It doesn't cost you anything. So, all right. Okay, it looks like Andy and Lorena are just talking to themselves for a minute. BK says, on a side note, Ivan is sketching Ash fighting the Deadites while listening to the DCS.
Hell yeah.
Good work.
Hell yeah.
Let's see that drawing when he's done.
Yep. We'll get that posted up. Hopefully we're doing some jamming this week with them boys.
Damn it. I opened my mouth. Tarek says, Crank mentioned it being one of the better ones, so off the top of your head, what would you 3 call your most recommended horror currently on Netflix?
I'm not touching that.
Originals and exclusives.
I'm not sure. I don't know what all is currently on Netflix. Honestly, this is the first time I've been to Netflix in probably a month. Let's get back to you on that. I'm going to pull up their...
well, there's like Fear Street and stuff like that.
Yeah, Fear Street was good enough.
Yeah, the first Fear Street. I still like The Babysitter. The first one, I thought that was really good.
Oh, right, The Babysitter and the second one. Those were pretty decent. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Stranger Things, this last season of Stranger Things is really good.
So I've heard. I was too busy watching Obi-Wan and The Boys.
Wasn't a classic horror story on Netflix? That one was pretty weird.
That was Shudder, I think.
It was Shudder?
I think so.
No, that was Netflix.
I thought it was Netflix.
I'm pretty sure it was Netflix.
Okay, maybe so.
I'm going to go with the first Fear Street, The Babysitter, and Incantation, because it's recent. There we go. Boom. Off the top of my head.
I'm trying to do the ones that were either originals on there or what, but I mean, because there's a lot of,
Yeah, there's a lot of mainstream. They don't really separate them,
Right. Oh, if you haven't seen Hush, that would be one of mine.
Okay, let me take out this and put in Hush because I'm not on somebody's jock like another host, but yeah, that's a damn good movie. And he does make good movies and good TV series.
Yeah, the Babysitter Duo was good. I don't know if I'd put it in my top 3. Dude, I love Things Heard and Seen, so that would probably be in my top 3.
What was the satanic one? That was Netflix, wasn't it? Or that was Shudder. That was Shudder. Never
That
mind.
was Shudder.
Yeah. That one was really good.
Those are two of mine, and then yeah, I'd throw Stranger Things in there for the mainstreamness of it, I guess.
Horror, man. Fear Street is probably.
I don't know. It was with great sadness that we're having a hard time coming up with 3 Netflix originals / exclusives.
Oh, that goes to show you. That goes to show you. Aside from a few mainstream titles that come along, they don't really put too much out there in the horror realm. And let's face it.
Thanks, S. Michael. Things Heard and
I agree
Seen,
with S.
big
Michael.
floppy donkey gonads.
I couldn't have said it better myself, sir.
I enjoyed the fuck out of that. So, suck my balls, Mr. Garrison. All right. We're late to the party on this, yes. Colonel talked about it a couple months ago when it first came out. It was just like, it's kind of a sleeper. So now Ziggy has finally seen it. Me too. I hadn't watched it until recently too. But holy shit, what a ride the sadness is. Colonel, go ahead. Tell us.
I tried fucking telling you. I tried
Hey.
fucking telling both you guys.
It's not like we didn't just go like, whatever, Colonel, another movie. Okay, whatever you say, dude. We'll get right on that. No,
Crank
man.
fucking did. Because I
Oh,
told
he
you, like,
did?
dude, the gore in this, you're going to fucking love
I
it.
did not. Don't fucking throw me under the bus, asshole. I did not.
No, I mean, I definitely heard that it was a gore fest, and we heard, and yes, Colonel brought it up, and we're gonna have to cover this, and I think it was more like, we'll look at it and decide then if it's something we can talk about here.
Yeah, because I brought it up, and they wanted something we want to talk about here. Usually, they'll throw out a movie, and we're going to talk about it. I bring it up, and I'm like, yeah. So anyway,
It was just having to view it.
I'm gonna take my time in the fucking. I'm gonna take my shine right now. I'm trying to remember what I said because I have not watched this since. No, I'm just fucking around. No.
Get him out of there. Get him out of there.
The whole is better than the individual. So yeah, I'm trying to remember because I have not seen this since I've seen it the first time. Because when I did my quick review, that's all I thought we were going to fucking do. And I had to watch Incantation last night. I had to choose. If I had to choose again, I would go with the sadness. But it's Biz and I are going to argue a little bit. It is a wild fucking ride from start to finish. In some of the fucking scenes, I see Andy's comment. I want to get to that. Just that's what he told the chick after said scene. I was like, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't hear that shit in American cinema, like film at all. Not like that. Not that descriptive.
Are you talking about the dry fluid?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
That's why I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was rowdy, dude.
Yes. Again, I already talked about this. I'm not going to go much further. Just you guys go ahead so we can discuss it.
All right. Ziggy, what'd you think of the sadness?
Oh my God, man. We heard about it. I kept meaning to get to it. I kept trying to get to it, and then it would just be like, It's like I was close to falling asleep. I want to watch this. So I just kept passing it over until recently, obviously. And God damn, man, what a fun fucking ride. Picture 28 days later, but it's like the people, it's like the Purge. They become sadistic. They become over sexually charged and will fuck any hole that they see. And
God damn.
see what I did there? And then it's amazing. It's outstanding. It's so much fun. It's a bloodbath. It's just the most sadistic shit you've seen in a while. I loved every minute of it. At the time I'd gotten through. I had like 35 minutes to go. I stopped. I hit these boys and I went, man, I go, this might dethrone Train to Busan. Now, after finishing the film, I can't say it does that.
No.
I can't say it's as good as Train to Busan. It's different. It's way too different. It's way too more sadistic. It's way more sadistic and just fucking mean, some of the shit they do. But one of the best fucking endings. Did you pick up the tribute, Colonel, of the ending of this film?
Maybe like what talking about.
One of the best endings of all.
Again, it's been almost 2 months since I've seen it.
Okay. We'll get to it at the end. I may spoil it because it's not like epic or anything, but it just, if you're paying attention, it's there. Something you've seen before. And it's just basically we got a couple. There's like this is set in the world of the coronavirus. What do they call it? The Alvin virus or something?
Alvin virus, yeah.
Alvin virus.
It's a different pandemic.
Yes, but it's totally inspired by what happened the last 2 years around here, and
which I thought was a bold choice.
Oh, dude, but they fucking. It's the same. You got
especially for Taiwan, you know.
Oh my God, man!
You know,
yeah, just everything going on right there. I mean, dude, it's right there, and you got the same people. You got people go, fucking, you can't trust the politicians. They'll say anything they can to get you to do what you want. You know, it's the same dumb shit you hear here. It's
very
amazing.
tongue in cheek. Very tongue in cheek.
Oh my God, it's so good that way though. The way they make fun of it, and basically it's like, oh, it's just a cold, and then it's starting to mutate, and that's kind of what the point is. When this thing hits when it's done cooking, that's when shit goes off the rails, and you're going to hear some of the most foul, funky, weird shit you've ever heard anybody say before they do something awful to somebody. And buckets and buckets and buckets of blood. And it's a gorehound's fucking wet dream. It's awesome. The story, it does fall off a little bit down that last end, the last scene. The last, yeah. Once it gets there, but the ending, predictable, but then again, there's a tribute there. And I don't know if I think we can spoil that. That's not that big a deal. At the very end, I will wait.
Around for 2 months.
Yeah. See this movie, especially if you like blood and guts and just some shit you've never seen before. I guarantee it. And it's a fucking great fucking ride. This is in contention for my top movie of the year right now. That's how good I liked it. Okay?
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
It was a ride, man, and I loved it. I will watch this again. I will buy this movie. This is going on the shelf.
Oh, damn. Wow. All right. Well, yeah. I had no idea what to expect, except for, all right, it's going to be a bloodbath. Great. Nah, probably, which means probably no fucking story, terrible acting, blah, 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 blah. Great. I'll be asleep in 10 minutes. No, I was shocked. This was, this was so fun. It was a lot of fucking fun. And it was a fucking bloodbath. But the story that went along with it was pretty fucking good. Like he said, there was a weakness to the last act. But, the first 10 minutes is just basically the setup of pretty much two characters. Mm-hmm. And you're learning about their relationship and what's going on with them. And then, you throw in a neighbor and another neighbor and then, a couple people on a train. You're learning about those two main characters separate, and the entire movie they're trying to get back together. And amidst the virus mutating and this pandemic shifting into overdrive like that, which a little outside of the realm of reality, big time. But
yes, I mean what they become, yes, but. The spread of it, I mean, that's the other thing I dug about it, man. Like every TV they walk by, every radio, there's something talking about this Alvin virus, and it's
right.
And then you see doctors going, no, there's a problem here. We got to get pop. They poo everybody the whole way, but until it's too late.
And I like the fact that those that got infected were trying to not just inflict horrific shit to the people that they were attacking, but were also trying to infect them. They went out of their way to infect them. Like, if they were getting away, they threw, like, when the guy gets his foot chopped in half,
God.
Okay? And then the guy is crawling away and about to get away from the infected guy. The guy grabs his foot and then pukes on the foot to make sure that he gets infected.
The foot is now missing all 5 toes, and it's a nice gaping hole into his foot that's gushing. So yes.
Not
And
the
I
only
was like,
gaping hole in the
fucking
movie.
perfect. Do what?
So it's not the only gaping hole in the movie.
No, it is not. Stop alluding to that.
All right, fuckface, whatever you say.
Very nice. Very nice. But the story that went along with this was good enough. The acting that went along with this with the 2 lead characters especially was fine. They were fine. When it got to the infected, some of that acting was a little over the top, but it fit. So I don't mind it. Would I call this great horror cinema?
Yes.
Almost. I mean, really fucking close. Just because it's a fun fucking ride, and you can't really beat that. So, what was more important to you? What was the story important to you at all, or were you just wanting to see buckets and buckets of blood, Ziggy?
Oh no, it's got to go somewhere, man. You can't just that pony only runs so far, and then it's got to drink and stop and everything. So they did it right here because you get away, they separate and stuff. The whole race while they're trying to get back to each other, you know. I mean, and it's having to acquire different cell phones because this one got smashed and all kinds of just things. It plays like an anime movie. You've seen this before, you know, almost like in some of these cartoons, some of these anime and stuff, and it's that kind of story with the just love conquers all and reuniting, that thing, the quest to reunite with those you love, and you know, they play with it and they dangle it in front of your face, and then, you know, they decide what they're going to do and if you're going to get the payoff at the end. So I thought, I the story was strong enough for me to, it just accented the glorious violence throughout. I loved it.
Colonel?
See, to me, the fucking buckets of blood, the gore, top billing for me. That's the story was enough to keep you entertained. I mean, if Crank is entertained by this, yes, it's a good enough story, but it was not top tier for me. It was all about the gore and the fucked up shit I was going to see. Because, you know, the 2 people trying to come together, we've seen that shit before. Again, it was enough to keep me interested, but more interested in the kid getting his fucking ass beat by like 8 other people. And then he's like, why'd you stop him? I was about to bust a nut. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. That's not what he said. But I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I was more interested in hearing the crazy shit I was going to fucking hear than these 2 fucking assholes getting together. Because if it was me, I would have stayed in that apartment and played the Switch and tried to bang the entire fucking time. Like, baby, calling off work today. Some shit's going down. You're going to stay home with me.
Some shit's going down, like you. It was a wild ride. Obviously, I like story more, but this one I didn't mind that much. Got to hit a couple comments though, because you guys are killing me. Andy says the sadness. I have an issue with eyeball things, so I took some contention against it.
You know, it's
keep an eye out for you.
Yeah, I hear there's some eyeball jokes in this, but they don't really go the Fulci route with it. You don't get to see some stuff, but I mean, there's some shit in there that you need to see to believe.
So in other words,
they go the Ron Jeremy route,
yeah.
The Fulci route.
So in other words, we get Skinamax, not Vivid. So you're telling me there's no penetration? We don't see any penetration.
Well, I'm just saying, man. That's the first time I ever seen anyone get their brains fucked out like that, man. Woo.
Wow.
That would be me too. That sounds like.
As Michael says, well, I know what I'm watching tonight. Yeah, this one you will enjoy probably well more than Incantation. Tarek says, love to watch Ziggy cheerlead a slasher film. Buckets of blood. Patricia says, that fry basket scene, though. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. And I'll read this one. Patricia, there's a scene where a guy is kind of hitting on the main female actress on the train. And Patricia says, I used to take public transportation everywhere, didn't get my license till I was 27. Used to have this creepy guy who would always sit next to me. I told him that my name was Amy, but this was before I met Amy. One day I'm walking with a friend and he was screaming my fake name. My friend I was walking with asked why he was calling me Amy, and I told her that I gave him a fake name. Yeah, it happens sometimes. And she said, she finalizes, so yeah, that guy on the subway really creeped me out in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
He did. He did, even in that first opening brief scene. But then the fact that he's the one that keeps coming back was pretty impressive and a pretty bold storytelling choice for this, I thought.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the way they set this movie up, like with their characters, I mean, you're looking at possible infected people, you think, but then they red herring your ass with somebody else.
Yeah,
you don't know where it's coming from, and that's what keeps you guessing. And it's good that way, man. It's so much fun.
Right. What was your favorite gore effect in this movie, Colonel?
Go Zag. It's one vivid for him. I have to think about it.
So
if you need a moment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to replay it all, man. I mean, there is some rowdy shit. I think the one that fucking got me, hey, what happened to that axe? And then the dude gets his toes whacked off, you know? I mean, it's in that breath. And I just went like, oh my God, shit! You know, because it's like a direct fucking chop right on the fucking meat of the foot. And then, of course, the vomiting afterwards. But I mean, Jesus Christ. That was,
right.
I felt that one, you know? But there's so much. There's so much. The guy with the neighbor with the hedge trimmers, man. You know,
Ooh, yeah.
That one was fucking disturbing. Just because I was just playing with some hedge trimmers earlier that fucking day. So I was just like, when it was happening, I was just kind of going, God damn it. I can feel the fucking thing because I just had them in my hands. But it's so fucking wicked, man. When they start popping. Yeah, this dude gets his fingers like, well, he's like holding the fucking clippers, you know, like this. And
this wasn't mine. I don't think was necessarily like a severing effect or anything like that. But I thought, and the way it was filmed and the way they cut it together, I thought the fucking blood orgy was pretty fucking impressive. That was one of the things that I was like, they really. They show just enough, but you're like, fuck, you don't even know what body parts are going on in there. You just see skin covered in blood, and then
they're all slapping. And I was like, is that all dudes at first? But then I was like, oh, there's a woman. There's a woman. Okay.
I hate to say it, I'm agree with you on that one. And the owners, I'm agreeing with you because you guys have been in my house. Viewers, you have not. I have a big open window in the living room. Everybody in the whole street can see what the fuck I'm doing if I have my blinds open. I was watching this with my blinds open. I wasn't even questioning it. Like, man, should I close my blinds? I was like, nah. It got to the blood orgy scene. I literally paused it and was like, they're going to think I'm a fucking weirdo. Close the blinds and start watching the movie. So I'm going to have to go with that.
Oh, yeah, Colonel.
Oh, yeah. Movie night at Colonel's house.
Now you guys know why I got the lotion and the tissues on my coffee table.
Oh, I already knew why. You dirty bastard. Now, do you have another one, Colonel, or is that
one felt the most? Because like I said, I have to say that one. I'm not trying to steal your thunder, but literally because that's the one where made me say, okay, I need to close these fucking blinds so people can't see inside my house.
That's funny. Uh-oh. What happened here? There we go. Wait a minute. Tarek says, vomit scenes in horror crack me up because I can't help thinking that's a laugh track for gore films. I'll say this. The vomit scenes in The Sadness were definitely better than the vomit scenes in Incantation. I will say that.
Oh, yes.
You agree?
Dude, the vomit.
By far, way better.
They did the pea soup mixed with fucking, orange crush textured vomit. It's horrible, man. It looks nasty.
Oh, it looked like a can of cream corn that had been sitting in the heat for like 30 years.
It's the kind of puke that, that you get it up your nose cavity when you're 3 thrown up too violently, and it's one of those. It's horrible, man.
It was.
You can feel it, baby.
Yeah. Incantation, you barely saw anything. Like, bleh.
Yeah.
That was about it. You heard a lot of retching noises, but bleh.
But
Bleh. Patricia says she could make a horror movie about her public transportation experiences. I'm sure she could. She thought the ending was a little too abrupt, though.
Well,
I thought the ending was pretty goddamn perfect.
I thought. Now, let's talk about the ending.
All right.
Folks, if you haven't seen it, I mean, you may not have picked this up even, but we had a doctor, the girl of the couple, she's fighting off like the pervert that was chasing her down, and she takes him out and it smashes him with a fire extinguisher. Brutal. It's awesome. Then this fucking door opens up. There's a guy in a hazmat suit, gets her in there, gets her in a chemical shower, handcuffed to the wall, and cleans her up and explains why everything's happening. It's the same doctor we saw on the news getting poo-pooed at the beginning of the movie. And he's going to help her, and, well, you think he's going to help her anyway. And then, they're going to leave together. Like, there's a helicopter coming to get them on the roof. Sound familiar?
Are we spoiling this?
What's that?
Are we spoiling this?
I am, because I have to talk about
it. 2 months, man. Say, fuck it, let's do it.
It's not it's not like a anything like that. But he tells her, you can't leave without me, because she's like, he's got his foot that's been chopped off and puked in, and he needs to be helped. He's struggling. So the boyfriend shows up. I'll just say that. And then we get to the end, like our doctor turns and he gets killed. And now all she's got to do, she's separated herself from... Fuck. I don't want to...
We already agreed to spoil it. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, all right. Spoiler alert. This is it. The boyfriend turns. He gets his fingers clipped off, and throughout all his battling and fighting and getting blood spit on him and sneezed on and whatever else kind of fluid hits him in this, he's now showing symptoms, and by the time he reunites with his girl, he's gone. So, like, he kills the doctor. She separates it. She shuts a gate where he's separated off, and he's just saying the most vile things to her, and she's tortured by it because she wants to still... He's saying, I love you so much, and I just want to, touch you and caress you and peel your skin off and cut your titties off. And he starts getting all wild.
Dude, when he said he cut her titties off, I chuckled. I was like, come on. This is so lame.
But just the way he delivered it, he was completely turned at that point. So she realizes, I got to leave. She turns and goes up the stairs and walks out to the helicopter. You see, she walks through it. All you see is the bright day of the door opening. She steps through, the door closes, you hear a few gunshots, which to me was a combination of Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead.
I got the Dawn of the Dead reference, but yeah, I could see
how Ben got taken. We don't see her get taken out, but there were 3 gunshots, and he even said, you're not going to get out without me up here. And she came out all covered in blood like that. They didn't hesitate. They blew her ass away too, which left her boyfriend down in the pit.
That's another quality of foreign, mostly Asian horror, is there's not often a happy ending. There's either a completely sad, dreadful ending, such as this one, or a ambiguous ending like Train to Busan.
I just love the subtle... I mean, it hit me like a bolt of lightning as soon as it happened. I went, oh, fuck! They just combined Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. That's sweet!
Yeah, but I think that's one of the reasons why I really like Asian horror, is because it doesn't... You don't have to have a positive, happy, somebody survives ending. Just end it the way you want, It
was it's right when we started doing this, and I caught something on Cinemax. It was called Infected, and I talked about it on here before. It's a simple movie. It's like 2 doctors, 2 nurses, and this guy that's kind of melting in a bed.
Mm-hmm.
But it is by far. It's not dubbed at all. It's subtitled. But the lighting, the soundtrack, and sound design, and the general creepiness of this fucking hospital, man.
Well, and the shot of her going up to the roof, that's just that stairwell going up, the light coming in from the door, the light going away. That was such
Yeah, she kind of hesitates.
Romero. Yeah.
It was Romero. 100%. Fucking 100% Romero, dude.
Yeah.
I love that because it just helped me, you know?
And Andy agrees. Total tribute to Romero in that ending.
Oh. Well, this is.
A lot of these films have tributes to Romero, though. Like, it doesn't quite get me as excited as it might have in the past.
Yeah.
Now, this is a Canadian director. I wasn't aware of that. And he does interviews, so I'm reaching out. I reached out tonight. I know very late. I'm going to talk about his fucking movie, and then he's not here.
Wait, the director of The Sadness?
Yes.
All right.
He's Canadian.
Okay. All right. Tarek says, I don't feel like you spoiled it, but I do feel like whenever I watch it, I'll be ticking off scenes I heard about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so much to see. So much to see in The Sadness that you won't be disappointed.
All right. Interesting. Rob Jabez.
Rob Jabez. Yep.
All right. So I assume both of you liked this movie better than Incantation. Would I be wrong there, Ziggy?
You'd be completely wrong. To assume anything else? Yeah, hell yeah, man. This one was way better than Incantation, in my book. I mean, it's just more up my alley.
All right.
Yeah, I was Zag. This was definitely a movie that I get a hard on for. Maybe not so much Incantation.
Let me go back and let's talk about. We kind of already opened the door a little bit about is Asian horror or foreign horror, just in general, better than American horror? And I want to go back to S. Michael's comment from a while back. Not going to read the whole thing again, but I want to hit the bottom of his comment here. It does seem like foreign horror is a fountain of originality compared to our penchant for endless sequels and reboots. Do you think that is part of the major problem with American cinema and American horror cinema especially, is that we're stuck in this cycle of reboot, remake, sequel, and not much in the way of originality? But I mean, lately we've had major releases like X and Black Phone. We got Nope coming soon. So we got a handful, but is originality dying in American cinema?
I thought Nicolas Cage kind of kicked out a nice string of pretty good, unique horror, I'll call it. I don't know if it's better, but with Mandy, with the color out of space.
On streaming services, yes.
Well, okay, yeah, but I mean, kind of supports that argument. Is this a way around that? You know what I mean? Because the studios don't even want to fucking bat an eye with some of these projects that are going on. They're still walking around like they know what the fuck's going on, and it's slipping away right under their nose. Cannot wait until the big studios are fucking neutralized more.
But yeah, when is that going to happen? Never.
It's happening. It's just going to take a while.
No, because they're going to buy all the fucking streaming services, and then they're going to release all their shit through there.
They're going to try to corner the market the best they can, but it's already. The fucking cat's out of the bag, dude. Yeah, cat is out of the bag. It's too late. They can't control the whole market like they used to.
Well, and theaters are not packing as much anymore.
I'm sad to say movie theaters may be going the way of the dodo. And it sickens me, but I'm seeing it. I'm watching it happen. I'm going to these fucking movies. There's 10 people in there with me, man.
Well, but if you go to a Marvel movie, if you go to a Marvel movie, there's 300 people in there.
You go on opening night, sure, it's going to be a little fuller and stuff. But I mean, man, you get past that opening weekend, you can go any show all day, all night long, and it's never full.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Colonel, jump in here. What do you think?
Gladly, since I kind of felt kicked myself out of the conversation for a while. Man, we all know sequels, reboots, prequels is killing Hollywood right now. But as far as like Asian or foreign cinema being better than American cinema at this time, I disagree. I think the foreign films have stepped their games up. But you're focusing on big studio releases. The independent horror scene right now is stronger than it's been since probably the 80s. Because you do have streaming services like Tubi and Amazon Prime. Like these guys are not the HBO Maxes, not the Hulus, the Tubis, the Amazon Primes. They're the ones that are picking up these independent films for streaming. I mean, hell, Terrifier was on Netflix for the longest fucking time.
Right.
And that's how the word is getting out. I really think I agree with S&M that American cinema is still the gold standard. That's what every other, Hollywood from these other countries try to emulate. That's what they want to be. It's big studio like Train to Busan. That was not a cheap fucking movie. That is a big studio movie. Yes, they are light years ahead of us now for big studio. But independent horror, I say we still got the edge. That's what's saving us right now.
All right. I like the originality of some of the foreign horror, especially. I do like some of the originality of the American independent scene, also, but the quality of most of it is so. I can't get into most of it, and I know you guys have many favorite. I'm not that huge of a fan of Terrifier. I love the character. I like the gore. There's just such a lack of story in that and purpose that
is a movie where it does not matter.
And
that's the exception.
In some ways, you're right, but it does matter to me. So
I got you, but the success of Terrifier is 100% of the character. And not the story, and the ridiculous brutality you get. Again, it's just attractive to. It doesn't matter. It doesn't apply here like a story. You don't need it.
I mean, I use Friday the 13th as an example. Why do people watch Friday the 13th? They're not watching it for the acting. They're watching to see Jason fuck some people up. That kind of, that's American, or at least the slashers. That's what people want to see.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not too worried. I'm kind of Zag. I mean, I agree with both of you. I wish Terrifier had more of a story. But most of Zag, where that doesn't affect how much I love that fucking movie, because art's acting alone is enough acting for me to get me through the film.
For Terrifier 2, there has to be some further explanation. We have to learn more about it.
I see. The plot that I've read and everything, I don't know if they're going to get into his origins of why he's now supernatural. I hope they do. I hope the story is good and why he's now after this woman and her kid brother, or whatever.
Right.
But the characters are not related to the other ones aside from the one that had her eyes ripped out. I guess she's back. So
All right.
We'll see. Hey, he said there's more story to it this time, so got to take a man at his word until we see it.
I hope so, but I also know he's added 3 scenes that top the scene. So
3 attempts.
Right. Hold on, let me hit some of this. I disagree with you in a way. I mean, maybe not 9 o'clock on a Monday right now, because I did try to look up like what theaters are doing right now. But no, 9 o'clock on a Monday is not a busy time for movie theaters. But dude, I drove somebody by. I was driving somebody near the movie theater here the other day, and they were like, "Jesus Christ, what came out this weekend?" And I was like, "Thor came out this weekend." And she was like, "Oh, that explains why there's 2,000 cars in the parking lot of a theater that only holds like 800 people."
I went to the movies twice while on vacation. Most recent one this past Saturday to see Thor with the kids. packed. Couldn't find a fucking parking spot. Took forever to get into the theater. The theater was fucking full.
Right.
The Saturday before that, I went to go see Minions: The Rise of Gru, whatever. Fucking packed. Nowhere to park. It was slammed. So if you're going on the weekends, the theater's still fucking well and alive. But if you go to matinee on Monday, there's going to be no one there, which is, for me, the perfect time to fucking go.
That's when I go.
Sit by myself.
I agree. I mean, if I can go during the day in the morning and stuff, I mean, hell, it's usually matinee price. And yeah, I expect to be in there with 10 people, you know, but I've been going to some Fridays and Saturdays and it's fucking 20 people in their tops, you know?
I've even noticed, like, even some of the Thursday early releases of some, not the major movies, but like even some of the other movies that have come out. Pretty decent audience numbers in there, you know, for Thursday at 7. That, you know, when it says it's releasing that Friday or whatever. So, I still love the theatrical experience. I hope they stick around. I hope they don't get much more expensive, but I know they're probably going to have to if audience numbers keep dwindling.
It's going to be free admission, but popcorn is now $27.95, large Coke $72.50, milk duds $175.
If you want butter and salt, you have to give up a testicle.
Yeah.
A couple people were leaving, it looks like. They're tired of us talking. BK says, have a fantastic night, sickos. Zag, see you this week with the rest of the youngins. Guess you guys have a date.
Well, my sister's coming up from Texas with her 2 kids just for a couple of days, you know, and
okay.
That's my cousin. Yeah.
Shit.
We're going to play some metal.
Oh, sorry. Personal phone call coming in. I'm going to have to bounce a little early as well.
Oh, okay.
So, The Sadness, Colonel, 8 out of fucking 10, must watch. But not nearly as good as Train to Busan. I was about to argue that motherfucker when he said that, but I'm glad he's changed his mind.
I told you I had to finish that last 30 minutes, and we'll see. I was like, right now, at this point, they're neck and neck. That's what I said.
Fair enough. All right, good night, gentlemen. Good night, folks. Don't get sick. Wash your dick. Don't smoke Scooter Steve. Use Summer's Eve.
Later, Colonel. Shit.
There he goes.
I guess he...
It's a serious call.
Probably a booty call.
Ooh.
Which, hey, dude, if I got a booty call right now, I wouldn't even say anything. I'd just be like, peace.
Click. All right. So while the Colonel is easing into a nice, comfortable position as he steps up, I'm like, all right, I'm sorry.
Leave me alone. S. Michael also says, have a great night, DCS. I'll have to watch this gory-ass movie. Enjoy it,
Yes.
S. Michael. He wants to do top 5 boobs in horror next week. Well, technically top 10.
Billy Zane wins them all.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Billy Zane, biggest boob, right there. He wins.
Yeah. Anyway, no, I still see the theater packed, but it's for these bigger, multiple $1 million movies. And then I go to see a horror movie, and there's 6 people in the theater. You know, and that scares me. Even Black Phone, I think Black Phone had the most that I've had in a movie theater in a while, and that was like 12.
With the access we have now, for horror movies, I don't give a fuck if I go to a theater to see it. I always will if I can. But if they do go away and we could still get our stuff, I mean, hey, man, times are changing, you know?
Yeah.
I love the movie experience. I get my popcorn and my frozen cherry slush religiously. I have to.
Mm-hmm.
But I just see it slipping away, man. It's just, how many fucking Thor movies can you can't maintain it. It's impossible. You're just not making big enough movies like that.
Well, I mean, they've already made, 30 Marvel movies? And they've got another 15 or 20 already slated, so.
I don't know when it'll ever end.
Right.
I really thought this shit would have burned out by now, the superhero thing, but it's fucking riding high. And I'm fine with it. I like those.
It's huge.
Yeah.
There's Patricia. She says, half the theater was filled when I saw the Black Phone. Good.
I think I went on a Monday for that one, and it was me, my son, and 2 other people.
No, there's Corey. Corey's in there. He says, super late, but at the gym, had to stop by and show support. Nothing says fitness like DCS. That's right.
Thank you, brother.
That's right. Isn't that how that joke used to go?
Oh yeah, the Bugs Bunny with the little minion.
Yeah. There's Tarek. It says theaters won't go extinct right away, but they're going to steadily close down and become rare, like video rental.
I think we'll see bigger multiplexes. You know, like your Imagine Entertainment, maybe your AMC's, perhaps MJR.
In huge towns.
Okay, in Lansing, when I lived out there, and that's kind of out in Land's area, they had Celebration Cinemas, and dude, this was the greatest theater I've ever attended for any movies. Their popcorn was always on point. The fucking movies, it was like being at a concert, so fucking loud, you know. And I thought I heard they closed down. I'm not sure, but I got to see the original Spider-Mans there and shit. And
yeah,
man, that was an experience going in that place every single time. But
now at least in my area, and I think you've got a few in your area too. Right now, one of the cool things is they are revitalizing some of these old historic theaters and reopening them and doing, some independent stuff, but also some mainstream stuff. And they're doing. There's a town of like 6,000 people down the street from here, from where I live. That town called Cushing, Oklahoma. They just reopened this beautiful historic theater. A couple buddies of mine had bought it and did all the remodel, did like state of the fucking art sound. It's fucking loud as shit in there. I went to see A Quiet Place 2 at the premiere for that because that was the first movie they were showing.
Nice.
And it was good, but it was kind of neat to be in that theater because it was an old school theater. They had like a band play before the movie, it was that kind of night. So, but I'm seeing a lot of those,
Yeah, the art house. I don't think the art house theaters will go away either because those are mostly independently owned, and those guys, that's their thing,
Right.
But Royal Oak has always had, like, that's where I got to see the Italian comic book hero Cemetery Man. Nobody was playing that fucking movie anywhere.
No.
Nobody. Dead Alive. Got no theatrical release in the United States. Magic Bag Theater in Detroit. They fucking ran it with beer, and it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that experience, and I don't ever see an art house going away. So I think we're safe there.
And here in Oklahoma, you went to Rodeo Cinema with us. That was a cool theater.
Yeah, that guy's same
set
thing.
up.
It's set up awesome, the way they got it,
and he's a junkie for this old shit. They're always doing stuff like that. And then, like I mentioned, the one in Cushing, there's a couple in Tulsa, one called Circle Cinema. That's pretty cool. And, I think Circle Cinema was where Rob Zombie's 3 from Hell played when that opened in theaters for the 2 days that it aired, so.
It's funny. I went to this burned out mall. It's like it's all shut down pretty much, and except they still got a Showcase Cinemas or something in there, and it's like that's where the only place around here that showed 3 from Hell. Right. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I hope theaters stick around. I hope you guys are still going to theaters when you can. I know it's been a weird few years, but fuck, we got to rank this film and then wrap this up. Colonel already gave it an 8. What do you give The Sadness?
Just because I know what I gave X. So at least I think I do. So I got to be true to it. So, again, what a fucking ride. This is the kind of feeling I used to get 13, 14, 15 when I'd go see those badass 80s classics, and this is all over again. They brought it back. Fucking Sadness. The shit they do, it's so sadistic, and it's so cool the way that they explain this virus and what it does to you. And I loved it, man, and I highly recommend this. And again, this could be the number 1 for me on the list this year. So I'm gonna give The Sadness, Shudder's Beauty, 8.5. This might be my highest score of the year.
Damn.
I liked it that much.
All right. Not bad. I had a good time with this, but when I want more out of a movie. I'll just put it that way. I want more out of a movie. Although I did have a good time with this, it's like that girl that. No, I'm not even going to go there. Never mind. Exactly. So, man, I'm going to give it a 7.5. So, it's still entertaining
From you?
as hell. Yeah.
From you, I'll take that.
That's high from me on something like this.
Like this, yes.
Yeah.
So that, folks, I mean, if that doesn't switch you to go watch this fucking, now that Mr. Story is into this motherfucker.
I'm not into it, but it's a fun fucking movie.
Yes.
That the funness of it comes. It helps me overlook some of the flaws of the rest of it. I'll put it that way. So
Fair enough.
And the fact that you will hear dialogue, like you mentioned, that would never, ever get passed in an American MPAA ran society.
It's quite funny, even translated. So, yeah, just enjoy. It's subtitled. You won't care. You won't care because you might miss something, but there's too much to see, so you don't need to worry. You'll love it. Oh, the sadness. Oh, God. Thank God for the sadness. So good.
Oh, man. All right. Anything else to add before we sign off for the night, Ziggy?
And we never did kind of go down the week what happened. You know, I've been in talking to my artist over at, shit, I can't think of the name now. It's not Diabolical Designs. It's the same guys that made my Father Thomas action figure.
Right.
Made my Zombie 2. I've told the story. Showed up, the fucking arm is severed off the figure. So I was like, hey, man, what the fuck? You know, you drop 160 on a figure, you kind of expect it to be whole anyway, right? And he reaches back to me, the actual artist who made it, said, man, my bad. We guarantee it's probably just something, you know, we customize these things and kind of used electrical tape on this particular arm to attach it. I don't know. That's something that may be common in the action figure game. I don't really know. This time it didn't work. So I've been asked to send it back. My response was to Taiwan, because that's where this guy is. And if that's the case, I'm going to be needing a shipping label. You know what I mean? I feel like I already paid my shipping once. I shouldn't have to pay for a repair. That's where I'm standing on it right now. So that's that. I will fix it. We just need it. Send it back. We'll fix it. So.
Oh, man. All right. Well.
Yeah, but it's a little annoying. I mean, like I said, man, when you get a custom that's this high end, you expect premium.
Quality control should have been all over that.
That's what I said to the guys at the Paul Brown. I was like, man, how does this get by? And they're like, well, he was like, we painstakingly look at each item before we ship it out. I go, yeah, but if you don't open the fucking box, how do you know?
Right.
Fuck. So, yeah.
Weird.
I got that. So eventually that will be returned. I will do an unboxing of it and you'll be able to see it in all its glory. So, and fingers crossed, because I'm getting shut down all the way around. Everybody I'm approaching to be on this show is declining right now. They can't do it, or they're not into being in this kind of an arena. They don't want to come out. So, a couple of cats I'm talking to, like there's a guy that does sculptures on Facebook. He's in the Fulci group I'm in, and they're unpainted sculptures. He's making them, and then he's painting them.
Mm-hmm.
They're fucking sick. I mean, I feel the same when I look at my Angelo Mariano paintings back here.
Right.
These things are very detailed and cool, but he's not coming on the show. But this guy that's making my figure, he might. And then the other guy just got back to me. Is this? I brought it up before. This zombie, I bought this in 2006, and we've got the artist, the whole story of why this never went anywhere, why there's only a couple of pieces. All right, we'll show it to you. Just a tease.
Because it's beautiful, man.
It is beautiful. Look at that motherfucker, man. Even his feet, his biscuits are all decayed and rotten.
What?
I mean, his feet, man. But yeah, we're gonna get this guy on, and he's gonna tell us the story, the severing of his partnership in this company, ZombieCom, and why there was a whole line of these detailed figures planned in this kind of delivery that never happened. And we're gonna hopefully get that story. It sounds pretty fascinating. So that's what I got going for the DCS, and then all of our fucking cons coming our way this month here. Coming up.
Yeah, we got a couple good ones coming up. Hey, Corey wants to know, got a link for that Fulci sculptor? I'd love an Emily one from Beyond.
He does commissions, so he will do whatever you want. Let me get his name real quick here. Hopefully he doesn't mind that I'm going to post the shit up here.
Well, no, just send it to Corey privately later.
Will do.
Right.
I can tell you his name, though, at least. Tony Gibson.
Okay.
He's the artist.
BK says, is there a way we can post pics of us wearing our DCS shirts in fun, weird places? Absolutely. Anytime on the Facebook page, just tag us, or Instagram or Twitter, tag us in there. And, yeah, that works.
By the way, the number one picture, if you're going to do something like this, the number one DCS shirt and a cool place to wear is a DCS shirt in the fucking Vatican in Rome. If you can beat that, Miss Sheila Visengardi holds that title right now. So if you can get it and do something crazier than that, we want to see it.
I haven't seen this.
I will send it to you. She just reposted it. It happened 2 years ago.
Two July ago?
It was before the pandemic, so probably 2019.
Oh, damn. And one last comment I want to hit before we go. Our buddy Joseph, who's getting ready to go back on the road. What's up, sir? He says, you guys are absolutely right. I'm noticing horror movies are getting fewer and fewer when it comes to audiences, but I'm also seeing it in other types of films as well. Yeah. It is happening. The only thing that's drawn people to the fucking show is or to the theaters is fucking Marvel and maybe Jurassic Park, but
and then, like I said, see Ghostbusters come and
Top Gun.
That Top Gun, that shit like that. I mean, look at this. We're rehashing all this 80s shit. That's what's hot right now. So,
yeah. Anyway.
Hey, Joseph, are you still coming to Michigan, buddy? Let me know.
I think he's going through somewhere there.
I saw his recent packing, and I was like, it doesn't look like anything around here. So,
well, and I also noticed that he was going to Tennessee, so I didn't know he was flying, but I guess he flies where he goes. So
yeah,
I thought he was driving. I was like, if you're driving through Oklahoma to get to Tennessee, hit me up, man. I'll meet you somewhere, but no dice.
Yep.
Want to say thanks one last time to, I got to move over here now, to our members, our final girls and guys, Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke, S. Michael, Patricia, Tanya, and Tyrone. Happy 10th anniversary, you swagger bunch. Also, thanks to our Crazy Ralphs, Angelo and Raymond, and our camp counselors, Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Kiara, and Dave. All right. Next week, we don't have a topic yet, but we'll be talking about some cool shit. Probably be a top 5, I think.
I think so. I'm trying to leave it open. I know the one dude can't make it, but might be able to shoehorn someone else in there. I'm working on something. I don't know.
Okay. Well, and I was trying to get Rod from Oklahoma City to come in and chat with us, but he is busy that weekend, or he's out of town that weekend, and I'm trying to get him for the next weekend, but I have not locked that down yet.
Maybe the 25th, I think. Is that what that is?
Uh-huh.
That'd be cool because we have a lot of things to discuss with that man, and he's a fucking hype engine, and having him on is just a ball. So,
he's always fun to talk to. So, yeah, that's it for us. We'll be back next week, hopefully on time.
Yeah.
As long as we don't run into more fucking technical difficulties like we did. But thanks for tuning in and joining us, guys. We do appreciate it every Monday. Have a great week, and enjoy it. We'll see you next time. Woo!
Oh, wait.